Not at all. Obviously this is a great field, just like those fields there, and just trying to lock into that first game. I think that's what everybody kind of takes that approach, and going to be very difficult for us just because Gonzaga is such a good team, high-powered offense, a lot of weapons, a lot of different ways that they can beat you. So. When somebody is that good offensively, like trying to take everything away probably isn't the smartest thing in the world. But also not letting them steal baskets. They've gotten really good at getting some second chance opportunities through their defense and pushing the ball, but also by rebounding the basketball. They have really good size, but they have a great combination of skill, speed, playmakers, inside outside bigs. They can score on the block, they can score off the offensive glass, but they can make threes too, across the board. So it really puts you in a bind from a defensive standpoint, just because they have such a high skill level.
I know you're squarely focused on the first game, but this might be the greatest MBB field of all time.
Yeah.
Just being part of this, how much you find out about your team?
Well, I think through competition, you're always finding something out about your team, especially when you get and you play on the road like we did at Arkansas, or you're going to play in an event like this on a neutral court. You're not playing in the comfort of your home arena. I think everybody kind of goes through that, and they kind of see college basketball is a lot different on the road. College basketball is a lot different when you don't have your home crowd.
Splitting the defense between Paul and Terry, how's that working? What's kind of the breakdown of responsibilities there?
Yeah, well, it's the same for both of them. They just, instead of Paul having every single game defensively, Brandon handles all the personnel for every game, tendencies. So he starts off every scouting report. PJ and Sasha handle the offensive piece of it, and then Paul and Terry just split the defensive pieces of it. So I like it in a preparation standpoint. I don't want it to be different, even though they could have different opinions. I want the setup and how we go about it to be the same way, so our players have that consistency.
Is it helpful in a 3-game and 3-day sort of setting?
It definitely is helpful. It's still going to happen. What happens when you're by yourself, and we've had, Jack Owens, Steve Lutz, Paul last year, to where, you're getting every single one of them. It's the hardest on the defensive guy. There's no question about that. Now that we're splitting it, I think that'll help from a freshness standpoint throughout the year, and guys aren't moving as quick to the next game before you actually play the game in front of you.
Shakari Harris, can you give us your thoughts on him?
Yeah, very excited about getting him. Versatile player, a guy that can play multiple positions, guard multiple positions. I think that ability to handle the basketball and play off the ball is something that we need. But more than anything, he's somebody that can guard multiple people. So it holds back a lot of people who transition from high school to college because they're not used to defending. He comes from a winning program, very good high school coach. I've been to their practices, I've been to their games, I've been around their program. They do things the right way, they hold people accountable. So his transition to college, everyone has that, right? But he's been in like a college program already. So, that's what really jumps out to us, is that we think he's got a chance to be, ready from day one. And he's a good offensive player, but most of the times what holds you back from getting in there is your inability to understand what's going on defensively and your inability to guard different people. And, he's great in both areas, but we're getting a two-way player that we recruited for a long time, and we're really excited.
6 for 6 on guys who can shoot.
There you go.
How big of an emphasis was that?
It's always an emphasis. I mean, sometimes you get off of it a little bit because you see some attributes that somebody has that leads to winning, and you think it can offset it. But it's always something that you're thinking about, that you want to be able to do. You want to be able to put as much skill on the court as possible.
And you often have to get off of it to get the guy who wants to defend. That might be where Shakari Harris' value lies. Right?
Yeah. I think that's a separator. If you're a two-way player, that means you're a good offensive player, you're a good defensive player. And, that piece of it, a lot of times those good offensive players, you got to teach them how to defend and your rules and everything like that. And it's so foreign to them, it just takes a while. with him, we're hoping that he'll be able to adjust pretty quickly.
Matt, the last time I think you brought